The unexpected discovery. The vast emptiness of deep space stretched before Commander Elena Rodriguez, her fingers hovering above the navigation console of the research vessel Horizon. After 3 years of monotonous exploration, the mission had become a test of patience. Routine scans, endless data collection, and the constant hum of life support systems had worn down even the most optimistic crew members. An anomalous signal. A sudden burst of electronic chirping broke the ship's meditative silence. Elena's head snapped up, her dark eyes focusing on the unexpected data stream flooding the communication panel. "Marcus," she called to her science officer, "are you seeing this?" Lieutenant Marcus Cowan rolled his chair across the compact bridge, his cybernetic eye flickering with rapid data processing. "Unprecedented signal pattern," he muttered, fingers dancing across holographic interfaces. "It's not like anything in our database." The signal pulsed with an almost rhythmic complexity, unlike any natural cosmic phenomenon they'd encountered. Geometric patterns emerged within the data, suggesting an intelligence far beyond random electromagnetic noise. Elena felt a familiar surge of excitement, the reason she'd become a deep space explorer in the first place. The decision. "Prepare for signal triangulation," Elena commanded, her voice cutting through the bridge's anticipatory tension. The Horizon's advanced sensors began to map the signal's origin, revealing a coordinate set deep within an uncharted star system. Marcus looked up, a mix of caution and curiosity in his remaining organic eye. "We're deviating from our primary mission parameters," he warned. "Command won't be pleased." Elena allowed herself a slight smile. "When has that ever stopped us before?" The ship's quantum drive hummed to life, space itself seeming to fold around the horizon as it accelerated toward the mysterious signal. Hours passed in a blur of calculations and preparation. The crew moved with practiced efficiency, each member understanding the potential significance of their discovery. First glimpse. As they approached the signal source, the star system revealed itself, a complex network of planetoids orbiting a dim red dwarf star. Massive gas giants loomed like silent sentinels, their atmospheric bands swirling with ethereal colors. "Detecting artificial structures," Marcus announced, his voice tinged with disbelief. Massive geometric shapes emerged from the cosmic darkness, not natural formations, but constructed objects of impossible scale and precision. Elena leaned forward, her breath catching in her throat. Massive crystalline structures reflected minimal light, their surfaces etched with intricate patterns that seemed to shift and change even as they watched. They were looking at something beyond human engineering, a civilization whose technological capabilities dwarfed anything humanity had imagined. First contact protocols. "Initiate first contact protocols," Elena ordered, her training kicking in despite the overwhelming sense of wonder. Standard procedure dictated minimal interaction, passive scanning, and absolute non-interference. But the universe had other plans. A sudden surge of energy erupted from the largest crystalline structure. Before the crew could react, a focused beam of quantum-entangled particles enveloped the horizon. Systems flickered, communication arrays went haywire, and for a moment, time itself seemed to suspend. Marcus shouted something, a warning, an observation, but his words were lost in a cascade of electromagnetic interference. Elena gripped her command chair, watching in a mixture of terror and fascination as an alien intelligence made its first move. They were no longer just observers. They had become participants in a first contact scenario that would change humanity's understanding of the universe forever. The horizon hung suspended in space, a tiny vessel caught between the known and the unimaginable, waiting for whatever would come next. Consequences of first contact. The moment the quantum beam touched the horizon systems, everything changed. Elena Rodriguez felt a strange resonance coursing through her body, a vibration that seemed to bypass physical sensation and tap directly into her consciousness. Unexpected connection. When systems stabilized, the bridge looked eerily unchanged. Yet Marcus Cowan was different. His cybernetic eye now pulsed with an iridescent blue light, displaying complex geometric patterns that danced and shifted like living mathematics. "Commander," Marcus spoke, his voice carrying an unusual harmonics, "we've been contacted." Elena studied her science officer carefully. "Contacted? By whom?" Marcus, or something speaking through Marcus, explained that the crystalline structures were more than mere technology. They were living repositories of an ancient civilization called the Quora, beings who existed beyond traditional biological constraints. They had been observing humanity for centuries, waiting for a specific moment of technological and cognitive readiness. The quantum intervention. The alien intelligence had chosen the horizon as a communication point. Not through traditional means, but through a quantum entanglement that merged consciousness with information. Marcus continued to speak, but Elena recognized only fragments of her friend beneath the alien communication. "We require a bridge," the entity explained. "Humanity stands at a critical evolutionary junction. A threat approaches from beyond your current understanding of space-time." Elena's military training battled with her scientific curiosity. Protocol demanded immediate isolation of any potentially compromised crew member. Yet something in the entity's communication rang with an urgent truth. Unexpected threat. The Quora revealed fragments of a cosmic threat, a civilization-consuming anomaly they called the Void Hunters. These entities didn't just conquer, they consumed entire evolutionary paths, erasing civilizations from existence by fundamentally altering their quantum potential. "Your species has a unique quantum signature," Marcus/the entity continued. "Adaptable. Resilient. You possess something the Void Hunters cannot easily assimilate, unpredictability." Elena realized they were being recruited. Not as soldiers, but as a potential defense mechanism against a threat beyond human comprehension. Internal conflict. The bridge crew watched in a mixture of horror and fascination. Some crew members reached for weapons, others for communication arrays. Elena raised her hand, signaling calm. "If what you're saying is true," she addressed the entity, "why us? Why now?" The response came not just through words, but through a cascade of visual and emotional information that flooded the ship's systems. Glimpses of fallen civilizations. Quantum landscapes of destroyed star systems. And threading through these images, a persistent, almost irrational human capacity for innovation and survival. The choice. The Quora were offering a partnership. Not conquest. Not subservience. But a collaborative defense against a cosmic threat that could consume everything. Marcus's body trembled. The quantum entanglement was unstable, pushing the limits of human neurological systems. Elena could see her friend fighting to maintain his individual consciousness against the alien communication. "We need your answer," the entity pressed. "The Void Hunters approach. Your solar system will be their first target within 3 solar cycles." Elena understood now why first contact protocols seemed laughably inadequate. This wasn't a diplomatic meeting. This was a species-level intervention. Her decision would determine humanity's fate. The horizon hung in space, a tiny vessel carrying the weight of an entire civilization's potential future. And Commander Elena Rodriguez would be the one to make the first move. Resistance and strategy. The aftermath of the Quora's communication transformed the horizon into a crucible of human potential. Elena Rodriguez knew they were no longer just a research vessel, they had become humanity's first line of defense against an incomprehensible cosmic threat. Quantum adaptation. Dr. Anika Patel, the ship's lead xenobiologist, worked tirelessly to understand the quantum modifications Marcus had undergone. His cybernetic systems now danced with an alien intelligence that both enhanced and threatened to consume his human consciousness. "It's like his neural pathways are creating new dimensional bridges," Anika explained to Elena, holographic displays showing Marcus's brain activity. "The Quora communication isn't just informational, it's transformative." Marcus himself remained in a delicate state of semi-consciousness. Sometimes he spoke in perfect English, recounting memories from his childhood in the Malaysian space colonies. Other times, he erupted in complex mathematical equations that seemed to bend the very fabric of reality around the ship's computer systems. Preparing for the unseen threat. The Void Hunters were more than just an abstract danger. Through Marcus's fractured communications, they learned of a predatory cosmic intelligence that consumed not just physical matter, but entire evolutionary trajectories. Civilizations weren't just destroyed, they were erased from the potential of existence. Elena assembled a special team. Not just the Horizon's original crew, but a rapid response group that could integrate the quantum knowledge they were receiving. Dr. Patel. Chief Engineer Ramon Ortiz. Communication Specialist Zaran Kosi. Each brought a unique perspective to their impossible mission. The Quantum Resistance Network. Their first step was to create a communication network that could resist the Void Hunters' assimilation techniques. Using the partial knowledge from the Quora, they began developing quantum encryption methods that went beyond traditional computational thinking. "We're not just creating a defense," Ramon explained during a strategy session. "We're developing an entirely new way of thinking about information and existence." The ship's systems underwent radical modifications. Standard computational arrays were replaced with quantum entanglement networks. Communication arrays were redesigned to create adaptive response patterns that could change faster than any potential threat could analyze. Unexpected ally. A breakthrough came from an unexpected source. Marcus, during a moment of lucid connection, revealed a critical weakness of the Void Hunters. They operated on deterministic principles. They could predict and consume civilizations because those civilizations followed predictable evolutionary paths. Humanity's greatest strength, the Quora communication suggested, was its fundamental unpredictability. "Randomness is our weapon," Marcus mumbled during one of his coherent moments. "They can't consume what they can't understand." The first strike preparation. Elena understood the strategy forming before her. They weren't just preparing a defense. They were preparing to push back against a cosmic predator using the most human of attributes: creativity, adaptability, and an almost irrational hope. Zaran Kosi worked on developing communication protocols that could potentially disrupt the Void Hunters' assimilation processes. Each transmission was a carefully crafted puzzle, designed to introduce computational chaos into a system that relied on perfect prediction. A moment of reflection. As the Horizon continued its journey, Elena found a moment of quiet reflection. The vastness of space stretched around them, no longer just an empty void, but a complex battlefield of evolutionary potential. The Void Hunters were coming. Humanity had been chosen as a potential resistance. And they would not go quietly into cosmic oblivion. Their preparation was more than a military strategy. It was a statement of existence, a declaration that some species refuse to be erased, no matter the cosmic odds. The real battle was just beginning. The turning point. The first signs of the Void Hunters' approach came not with a roar, but with a silence that devoured entire star systems. Elena Rodriguez watched through the Horizon's advanced sensors as entire sectors of space simply disappeared. The quantum battlefield. Dr. Anika Patel's quantum network lit up like a neural storm. "They're not just destroying," she explained, her voice tight with a mixture of scientific fascination and primal fear. "They're unwriting existence itself." Marcus, now a living bridge between human consciousness and Quora quantum intelligence, stood at the center of the ship's modified bridge. His body flickered between solid form and something more ethereal, a living translation device between humanity and the cosmic threat. "They consume potential," Marcus spoke, his voice a complex harmonic that seemed to vibrate through the ship's very structure. "Not just matter. Not just energy. But the very possibility of what could be." First engagement. The Void Hunters' approach defied conventional understanding of space and time. They didn't move through space so much as they rewrote the fundamental rules of spatial existence. Star systems simply ceased to exist, their entire historical and future potential erased in moments. Elena realized their preparation was about to be tested in the most extreme way possible. Quantum disruption protocols, she commanded. The ship's systems, redesigned by their most brilliant minds, began to pulse with carefully crafted interference patterns. Each transmission was a mathematical puzzle, a cognitive trap designed to introduce unpredictability into the Void Hunter's seemingly perfect computational matrix. The human variable. Zarenkosi's communication systems became a weapon of pure potential. She wasn't just sending signals, she was creating living mathematical constructs that challenged the very notion of predictable information transfer. Each transmission was a biological quantum hybrid, something the Void Hunters couldn't easily categorize or consume. "We're introducing chaos," Ramon Ortiz explained, monitoring the ship's quantum shields. "Pure, beautiful human unpredictability." The critical moment. The first direct encounter was unlike any battle in human history. The Void Hunters didn't attack with weapons. They attempted to simply erase the Horizon's existential potential. But the ship's quantum modifications, built on human creativity in the Quora's advanced understanding, created a shield of pure unpredictability. Marcus began to transform. No longer fully human, no longer just a Quora communication bridge, he became something entirely new. His body became a living quantum algorithm, a bridge between human potential and cosmic resistance. "They can't understand us," Marcus proclaimed, his voice resonating through the ship's systems. "We are not a problem to be solved. We are a possibility they cannot calculate." The unexpected weapon. Elena realized their true strength. The Void Hunters consumed civilizations that followed predictable paths. Humanity's greatest weapon was its ability to change, to adapt, to be fundamentally irrational in the most brilliant ways possible. The ship's systems began to generate impossible mathematical constructs. Equations that solved themselves by constantly changing. Communication patterns that existed in multiple states simultaneously. Pure, unadulterated human creativity weaponized into a cosmic defense mechanism. A momentary victory. As the first wave of Void Hunters approached, something unprecedented happened. Their computational systems began to fracture. Faced with a civilization that refused to be categorized, that existed in a state of constant potential, they found themselves unable to process. The Horizon didn't just survive. It began to push back. Marcus, now a living quantum entity, looked at Elena. "We are more than they can consume," he said. "We are possibility itself." The battle for existence had begun. And humanity was proving to be an opponent the Void Hunters never anticipated. Resolution and new horizons. The aftermath of the initial confrontation transformed everything. The Horizon was no longer just a research vessel, it had become a beacon of human potential, a living testament to a species that refused to be erased. The quantum metamorphosis. Marcus no longer existed as a singular being. He had become a quantum bridge, a living conduit between human consciousness and the cosmic intelligence that sought to understand, and ultimately preserve, humanity's unique existential signature. Elena Rodriguez watched as the ship's systems pulsed with a new kind of energy. The Void Hunters had not been defeated, but they had been fundamentally challenged. Their computational models, built on absolute predictability, had encountered something they could not assimilate, pure human potential. "We're not just fighting," Marcus's voice resonated through the ship, no longer confined to a single body or even a single state of existence. "We're rewriting the fundamental rules of cosmic interaction." The resistance expands. Dr. Anika Patel worked feverishly, translating the quantum data they had gathered. The Horizon had become more than a ship, it was now a living library of resistance, a mobile defense mechanism that could adapt faster than any threat could comprehend. Zarenkosi's communication systems had evolved. No longer were they about sending and receiving messages. They were about creating living information networks that could reshape themselves instantaneously. Each transmission was a puzzle, a challenge to the very notion of predictable communication. A new understanding. The Quorra's initial communication now made perfect sense. Humanity wasn't chosen as a weapon. They were chosen as a catalyst, a species capable of introducing fundamental change into a universe that had grown stagnant. Ramon Ortiz's engineering had transformed the ship's systems into something that defied traditional understanding. Quantum shields that weren't just defensive barriers, but active information networks that could rewrite their own defensive protocols faster than any threat could analyze them. The cosmic dialogue. The Void Hunters had not been destroyed. But they had been fundamentally altered by their encounter with humanity. Through Marcus, through the horizon, they were learning something entirely new, the concept of potential beyond calculation. "We are teaching them," Marcus explained to Elena during a moment of crystalline clarity. "Not through violence. But through the simple act of existing in a way they cannot predict." The path forward. The final confrontation was not a battle in any traditional sense. It was a conversation, a quantum dialogue that would reshape understanding of existence itself. The horizon began to generate what could only be described as living information. Mathematical constructs that solved themselves by constantly changing. Communication patterns that existed in multiple states simultaneously. Pure creativity weaponized into a cosmic communication mechanism. A new potential. Elena understood now that their mission was never about survival. It was about evolution. About showing a universe locked in predictable patterns that there was another way to exist. As the ship prepared for its next journey, the boundaries between the Horizon's crew and the quantum intelligence they had encountered began to blur. They were becoming something new, a bridge between what was and what could be. "We are possibility itself," Marcus had said earlier. Now, Elena truly understood what that meant. The Void Hunters would return. But they would return to something entirely different. A humanity that was no longer just a species to be studied or consumed, but a fundamental force of cosmic potential. The journey was just beginning.